it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Alright, here we go. Holy smokes. It's all built out.
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
Alright, January 2009. Okay, we're back here again. Okay, so that's the end, the beginning, or whatever. If something jumps out at me, I'm going to freaking kill somebody. You are now exiting.
So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
If anyone is actually watching, go ahead and message me on Twitch, just at DJ Tyrant. I'm curious if anyone's actually watching, because I am not alt-tabbing out of this at all until I'm done with it. Actually, I could... Never mind.
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development. To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
What is that a picture of? I do not know. So, bunch of stuff. Okay, and just... I want to do this. Let's see. Nope. Excuse me. Alright, stairs going down to... Oh my goodness, what? Alright, jumping puzzle, here we go. Oh, I messed it up. Oh, I'm not dead. Alrighty. Well, I guess we just jump down until the end. Oh, I want land on the orange one. Alrighty. Here we go. Oh, Gangnam style. Alright. We're at the bottom. Apparently we don't take damage. And now there's a glass thing in the way. And now it's portal again. Is there an opening down here? Feels like there should be. Okay. So there's not. We're going to press on forward. Left goes nowhere. Right goes nowhere. What is this? Makes me think of the opening of Half-Life. Okay. Alright. I'm getting forced around. Oh. It's like a prison. Alright, well I'm stuck in here?
This prison, Funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
1 hour? What a jerk. Oh.
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Cruel, man. Alright, well, I don't think I'll be breaking anything here. So let's go down the spiral staircase once again. Or a second one, it's not the same one, obviously. Music is really setting the mood though. There's that 3-eye icon again. I feel like that means something.
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time.
Don't troll me.
There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Alrighty then. Another hallway. Does jumping make me go faster?
Here, Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Interesting. Oh, is this the same thing? I'm assuming these dialogue choices mean something at some point.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level. It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination. which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Oh my gosh, this is actually like other people who played the game. This is interesting. Let's see. Nice room. Not. That's exceptionally
So first
rude.
off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're going to see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played. But it's ironic, isn't it, that in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
Alright, so how do I get over there? I'm guessing I come up on that side or something. What the shit is this cavern? Oh my goodness. Wow, that's a lot of text to go through. Of course I checked the door, because that's how I am.